It's a harsh truth, but some individuals in our lives genuinely enjoy causing harm and creating chaos. Just consider it. You might be sharing intimate moments and placing your trust in someone, only to find out they are the very source of your distress. Today, we're delving into a topic as captivating as it is unsettling, recognizing the indicators that you're interacting with an evil person. Whether it's a colleague, a friend, or even a family member, these individuals can be masters of deceit, concealing their true nature behind charm and charisma. Our exploration of this dark facet of human behavior today isn't merely driven by curiosity. Grasping these signs can be transformative. The Stoics championed the power of perception and the significance of living a life guided by virtue and reason. By identifying and comprehending these detrimental traits, we can safeguard our inner calm and nurture healthier connections, remaining faithful to the Stoic tenets of wisdom and self-control. Join us as we unveil 5 undeniable signs of an evil person. By the video's conclusion, you'll not only be better equipped to identify these behaviors, but also discover practical approaches to protect your mental well-being. And if you value our work here, a simple, free favor I'll ask is for you to click the subscribe button. Please don't skip any part of the video. You won't want to miss our special bonus segment, where I'll share an effective strategy for establishing firm boundaries with these individuals. Let's embark on this journey of self-awareness and resilience together. Sign 15, the deceptive charmer. When we discuss individuals who initially appear charming and charismatic, it's vital to remember that appearances can be misleading. These people frequently possess an ability to light up a room, making everyone in their vicinity feel valued and special. They instinctively know the right words to make you feel as though you've just found a new best friend. At first glance, they seem like the ideal person, witty, engaging, and genuinely interested in your life. It's easy to get carried away by their charm, believing you've discovered someone truly exceptional. However, the Stoics instruct us to look beyond the superficial and seek truth through logical thought and careful observation. With the passage of time, you might begin to notice subtle flaws in their facade. Perhaps they consistently need to be the focal point of attention, eclipsing others in social situations. They might interrupt you, talk over you, or even subtly belittle you in front of others. These aren't just eccentricities or indicators of an outgoing personality. They are red flags. The Stoics would advise us to observe these behaviors with a clear mind, unclouded by the initial allure of their charisma. Imagine attending a party where this individual is the life of the event, telling jokes and captivating the crowd. Initially, it feels wonderful to be in their orbit, but as the evening progresses, you realize they are monopolizing every conversation, making everything about themselves. When you attempt to share something about your own life, they quickly steer the topic back to them. This is where the Stoic principle of apatheia, a state of being undisturbed by external factors, proves useful. By maintaining emotional equilibrium, you can see through their charming act and recognize the self-centeredness beneath. It's also crucial to observe their reactions. When things don't go their way, a genuinely kind and caring person will handle disagreements and disappointments with grace and understanding. However, someone merely playing a role to earn your trust might quickly become defensive or angry. They might lash out or attempt to manipulate the situation to regain control. According to Stoic wisdom, such reactions are clear signs of a lack of virtuous character. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to be wary of those who exhibit signs of manipulation and anger, as these are not traits of a rational and virtuous person. The key here is to take your time and trust your instincts. The Stoics believed in the power of observation and the importance of not making hasty judgments based on first impressions. Epictetus taught that we should carefully assess the character of those we allow into our inner circle. So, if someone appears too good to be true, allow yourself the space to observe their actions over time. Notice how they treat others, especially when they believe no one is watching. True character is revealed in how a person behaves when they aren't trying to impress anyone. Remember, not everyone who seems charming and charismatic has good intentions. Some individuals use their charm as a tool for manipulation. By remaining grounded and mindful, you can protect yourself from being deceived by a superficial facade. Stay true to the Stoic principles of discernment and wisdom, and you'll be better equipped to navigate these intricate social interactions. Sign 2a. The empathy void. Another critical sign to watch out for is a lack of empathy. Empathy is the capacity to comprehend and share the feelings of others. It's what enables us to connect deeply with those around us, offer support when needed, and forge meaningful relationships. However, there are individuals who appear to completely lack this fundamental human characteristic. They show no concern for how their words or actions affect others, and this can have a devastating impact on those in their vicinity. The Stoics emphasized the importance of compassion and understanding as foundational virtues. Marcus Aurelius frequently spoke about the interconnectedness of humanity and the need to consider the well-being of others as part of our own. Therefore, when we encounter someone who displays a blatant disregard for the feelings of others, it's a serious red flag. Imagine sharing something deeply personal with a friend, hoping for some comfort or understanding. Instead of showing any genuine concern, they dismiss your feelings or even ridicule your vulnerability. This absence of empathy can leave you feeling misunderstood and isolated. It's not just about them failing to be there for you in difficult times. It's also about their inability to share in your joy or celebrate your achievements. A person who lacks empathy won't applaud your successes. They might even undermine them or claim credit themselves. This behavior isn't limited to personal relationships. Consider a boss who drives their employees to their breaking point, showing no concern for their well-being. They might demand long hours without fair compensation, disregard requests for time off, or publicly criticize employees in a way intended to humiliate rather than constructively guide. This fosters a toxic work environment where people feel stressed and undervalued. The Stoics would advise us to maintain our inner peace and integrity in such situations, recognizing that the lack of empathy in others is a reflection of their character, not ours. Furthermore, a lack of empathy can lead to more sinister behaviors. Individuals who cannot empathize with others may engage in actions that are outright cruel or display no sense of remorse or guilt. They might lie, cheat, or even inflict physical harm without a second thought about the pain they are causing. The Stoic philosopher Seneca underscored the importance of kindness and justice, teaching that our actions should always reflect our inner virtue. When someone lacks empathy, they are fundamentally disconnected from these values. A lack of empathy is also evident in smaller, everyday interactions. For instance, you might notice that someone constantly interrupts conversations to talk about themselves, shows little interest in what others have to say, or fails to offer help when it's clearly needed. These might initially seem like minor annoyances, but they contribute to a pattern of behavior that reveals a deeper issue. The Stoics would remind us to be observant and discerning, understanding that these subtle signs are indicative of a person's true character. If you find yourself dealing with someone who consistently lacks empathy, it's crucial to establish boundaries to protect your own mental and emotional health. The Stoics believed in the importance of maintaining our own well-being and not allowing the negativity of others to disrupt our peace. You have the right to distance yourself from those who drain your energy and bring you down. Sign 3. The master manipulator. Another significant sign of an evil person is manipulation. Manipulation occurs when someone employs deceitful or cunning tactics to control or influence others to achieve their desires. It's a subtle, often insidious behavior that can be incredibly damaging to those on the receiving end. Manipulators are adept at distorting situations, making you question your reality and bending your will to suit their needs. This can leave you feeling confused, powerless, and uncertain of your own judgments. Let's consider manipulation from a Stoic perspective. The Stoics prized clarity of thought and the ability to perceive things as they truly are. They taught that our perceptions should be rooted in reality and that we should remain steadfast in our principles, regardless of external pressures. When someone manipulates you, they are attempting to obscure your perception and twist reality, making it challenging for you to adhere to these Stoic ideals. A common form of manipulation is gaslighting, where the manipulator tries to make you doubt your own memory, perception, or sanity. They might deny that certain events transpired, or they might twist your words and actions to make you feel at fault. For example, Imagine you confront a friend about something hurtful they said. Instead of acknowledging it, they might reverse the situation, accusing you of being overly sensitive or misremembering. This can erode your confidence and make you dependent on the manipulator's version of reality. Manipulators are also skilled at playing the victim. They might use guilt to coerce you into doing things you don't want to do by making you feel responsible for their happiness or well-being. You might have a friend who constantly complains about their problems, expecting you to drop everything to assist them, yet they are never there for you in return. They might say things like, "If you were truly my friend, you'd do this for me," making you feel obligated to comply. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasized the importance of understanding what is within our control and what is not. We cannot control the actions or emotions of others, only our response to them. Consider how a manipulator might use flattery or charm to get their way. Initially, this can feel wonderful. They might shower you with compliments and make you feel special, but over time, you might notice that their praise comes with hidden conditions. They might compliment you when they desire something from you, or when they need you to perform a task for them. This can make you feel as though you owe them, or that you need to meet their expectations to maintain their approval. The Stoics would remind us that true virtue and self-worth emanate from within, not from the fleeting approval of others. Manipulation can also take the form of isolation. A manipulative person might attempt to separate you from your friends and family, claiming they are the only one who truly understands or cares about you. They might say things like, "Your friends don't truly care about you," or "Your family doesn't understand you like I do." This tactic makes it easier for them to control you, because you become more reliant on them for companionship and validation. The Stoics believed in cultivating strong, supportive relationships with others, recognizing that we are social beings who thrive in community. Isolation contradicts these principles, as it weakens our support network and makes us more susceptible to manipulation. Financial manipulation is another tactic employed by evil individuals. They might borrow money and never repay it, or they might control your finances to limit your independence. For instance, a partner might insist on managing all the money in the relationship, requiring you to ask permission to spend anything. This control over finances can make it difficult for you to leave the relationship or assert your independence. The Stoics would encourage us to seek self-sufficiency and independence, ensuring that we are not unduly influenced or controlled by others. Recognizing manipulation for what it is can be challenging, especially when you care about the person involved. The Stoics teach us to be discerning and vigilant, to perceive things clearly, and to act with integrity. If you suspect someone is manipulating you, take a step back and objectively assess the situation. Are they consistently prioritizing their needs over yours? Do they make you feel guilty or uncertain of yourself? Are they attempting to control aspects of your life or isolate you from others? It's crucial to establish firm boundaries with manipulators and stand your ground. Communicate clearly and assertively about what you will and will not tolerate. Remember, you have the right to your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control how others behave, we can control how we respond. By maintaining our inner strength and clarity, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of manipulation and remain true to our values. Sign 4. The grip of control. One of the most undeniable signs of an evil person is controlling behavior. This extends beyond simple preferences or quirks. It's about someone who seeks to dominate every facet of your life, leaving minimal room for your own autonomy and decisions. Controlling individuals often mask their behavior as concern or care, but underneath, it's entirely about power and control. The Stoics, who valued personal freedom and self-control, would perceive this behavior as fundamentally opposed to living a virtuous life. Controlling behavior can manifest in numerous ways. For example, you might have a friend who insists on always choosing where you go and what you do together. While it might seem harmless at first, over time, you begin to realize that your preferences and opinions are consistently disregarded or overridden. They might say things like, "I know what's best for us," or "You'll have more fun if you just listen to me." This isn't about mutual decision-making, it's about one person exerting their will over another. In relationships, controlling behavior can become even more perilous. A partner might monitor your whereabouts, demand constant updates on your activities, and even dictate who you can and cannot see. They might go through your phone, check your messages, or insist on knowing all your passwords. This type of surveillance and micromanagement can make you feel anxious and trapped, constantly walking on eggshells to avoid conflict. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, underscored the importance of maintaining your own inner freedom and autonomy, irrespective of external pressures. Control can also emerge in the form of financial manipulation. A controlling partner or family member might assume charge of all financial decisions, doling out money as they see fit and keeping you financially dependent on them. They might say, "I handle the money because you're not good with finances," or "It's easier if I just take care of everything." This can strip you of your financial independence and make it difficult to leave the relationship or assert your own choices. The Stoics believed in self-sufficiency and managing your own resources wisely, viewing financial control as a form of enslavement that must be resisted. Another way controlling behavior manifests is through isolation. A controlling person might attempt to cut you off from friends and family, claiming they are the only one who truly understands or cares about you. They might criticize your loved ones, saying things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family is toxic." Over time, you might find yourself increasingly isolated, relying solely on the controlling person for companionship and support. The Stoics recognized the importance of community and supportive relationships, seeing isolation as detrimental to both personal growth and well-being. Controlling individuals also frequently resort to threats and intimidation to maintain their power. They might threaten to leave you, harm themselves, or even hurt you if you don't comply with their demands. This fosters an environment of fear and anxiety, making it difficult to think clearly or make decisions that are best for you. The Stoics, especially Seneca, taught that we should confront our fears and not allow others to intimidate us into submission. True wisdom and courage lie in standing firm against such threats and reclaiming our own power. It's important to understand that controlling behavior is more than just desiring things to be done a certain way. It's fundamentally about undermining your ability to make your own choices and live your own life. The Stoics would advise us to recognize these behaviors for what they are: an assault on our autonomy and a violation of our personal freedom. By remaining true to our values and maintaining our inner strength, we can resist the influence of controlling individuals and reclaim our right to live freely. If you find yourself dealing with someone who exhibits controlling behavior, it's crucial to establish firm boundaries and assert your independence. Communicate clearly about your needs and limits, and don't be afraid to seek support from others who understand your situation. Remember, the Stoics teach us that we cannot control others, but we can control our own reactions and decisions. By staying grounded in our principles and valuing our own autonomy, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of controlling behavior and live more authentic, fulfilling lives. Sign 5th. The pathological liar. Another unmistakable sign of an evil person is pathological lying. This extends beyond the occasional white lie that most people tell. Pathological liars deceive constantly, often without any apparent reason. They fabricate stories, manipulate facts, and distort reality to suit their own needs or to gain an advantage over others. This behavior can be incredibly damaging to relationships, eroding trust and creating a web of deceit that's difficult to untangle. The Stoics valued truth and integrity above all else. They believed that a virtuous life was grounded in honesty, and that deceit was a fundamental betrayal of one's character. Marcus Aurelius emphasized living in accordance with nature, which means aligning our actions with truth and reason. When someone lies pathologically, they are living in direct opposition to these principles, creating a false reality that benefits only themselves. Pathological lying can take many forms. It might begin with small, seemingly harmless lies, like embellishing a story to make themselves appear more interesting or better. Over time, these lies can escalate, covering up mistakes or wrongdoings and manipulating others to achieve their goals. A pathological liar might claim to have accomplished things they haven't, falsely take credit for others' work, or invent stories about their past to gain sympathy or admiration. This constant dishonesty creates a distorted view of reality, where you can never be certain what's true and what's fabricated. Consider how a pathological liar might operate in a workplace. They might lie about their qualifications, exaggerate their contributions to projects, or spread false rumors about colleagues to sabotage them. This can create a toxic environment where trust is undermined and people are constantly on edge, unsure of whom to believe. The Stoics would advise us to remain steadfast in our own integrity, not allowing ourselves to be swayed by the deceitful actions of others. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and actions, and not be disturbed by the dishonesty of those around us. In personal relationships, pathological lying can be even more destructive. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly lies about their whereabouts, their past, or their feelings. This behavior can make you feel insecure, anxious, and perpetually questioning your own perceptions. You might find yourself doubting your memory or guessing your instincts, which is precisely what the liar desires. They thrive on creating confusion and instability, keeping you off balance so they can maintain control. The Stoics would remind us to trust our own judgment and not be swayed by the manipulations of others. Seneca taught that true peace comes from within, and that we should not allow the deceit of others to disrupt our inner tranquility. One of the most insidious aspects of pathological lying is that it's often difficult to detect at first. Pathological liars can be incredibly convincing, telling their lies with such confidence and detail that it's hard not to believe them. They might interweave truth with lies, making it even more challenging to discern what's real. This is where the Stoic principle of vigilance comes into play. We must remain observant and critical, not taking things at face value, but instead seeking the truth through careful consideration and evidence. When you catch someone in a lie, pay attention to how they react. Do they become defensive or aggressive? Do they try to turn the tables and blame you? Or do they offer a plausible explanation that seems to make sense, even if it's just another layer of deceit? A genuine person will admit to their mistakes and strive to correct them, while a pathological liar will double down on their falsehoods, weaving an even more intricate web of lies. The Stoics would counsel us to remain calm and rational in the face of such behavior, recognizing it for what it is and not allowing it to provoke us. It's also important to consider the long-term impact of pathological lying. Over time, it can erode the very foundation of trust that any relationship is built upon. Once trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. You might find yourself constantly suspicious, always wondering if you're being lied to again. This can lead to a toxic cycle of mistrust and resentment. The Stoics believed in the importance of building strong, honest relationships based on mutual understanding and respect. When dealing with a pathological liar, you must decide whether it's worth attempting to rebuild that trust, or whether it's healthier to distance yourself from their toxic influence. If you find yourself entangled with a pathological liar, it's crucial to establish firm boundaries and protect your own mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics would advise us to remain true to our own values and principles, not allowing ourselves to be dragged down by the deceit of others. Be clear about what you will and will not tolerate, and don't be afraid to walk away from a relationship or situation that is built on lies. Remember, your peace of mind and integrity are more important than maintaining a connection with someone who consistently deceives you. Setting boundaries, your shield against harmful behaviors. Now, how can you protect yourself from these harmful behaviors while preserving your peace and integrity? Setting boundaries is one of the most crucial skills you can cultivate when dealing with difficult or toxic people. Boundaries involve defining what you will and will not accept in your relationships, and they are essential for safeguarding your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. The Stoics, who emphasize the importance of personal integrity and inner peace, would view boundary setting as a fundamental practice for maintaining a tranquil and virtuous life. First and foremost, it's important to recognize that setting boundaries isn't about being unkind or harsh. It's about respecting yourself and ensuring that others respect you too. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-respect and living in harmony with our true nature. By establishing clear boundaries, you're not only protecting yourself, but also fostering healthier interactions with others. When it comes to setting boundaries, clarity is key. You need to be specific about what behaviors you will not tolerate and communicate this clearly and assertively. For instance, if you have a friend who frequently belittles or puts you down, you might say, "I value our friendship, but I will not tolerate being spoken to disrespectfully. If this continues, I will have to distance myself." This approach is direct and leaves no room for misinterpretation. According to Stoic principles, this kind of clear communication helps maintain respect and order in relationships. Another crucial aspect of setting boundaries is consistency. It's not enough to state your boundaries once and expect others to adhere to them without reminders. You must consistently enforce your boundaries, even when it's challenging or uncomfortable. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasize the importance of perseverance and discipline. By consistently upholding your boundaries, you demonstrate self-respect and teach others how to treat you. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, it's a clear sign that they do not respect you or your limits, and it may become necessary to reevaluate the relationship. It's also important to remember that setting boundaries isn't a one-time event, but an ongoing process. As relationships evolve, your boundaries may need to be adjusted. For instance, in a work environment, you might need to set boundaries around your availability and workload to prevent burnout. You could say to a colleague or supervisor, "I'm happy to help with this project, but I cannot take on additional tasks beyond my current responsibilities." The Stoics would advise us to balance our duties and not overextend ourselves to the detriment of our well-being. One of the most challenging aspects of setting boundaries is dealing with the pushback or resistance you might encounter. People who are accustomed to getting their way, especially those with manipulative or controlling tendencies, may not react favorably to your newfound assertiveness. They might respond with anger, guilt tripping, or even attempts to undermine your confidence. The Stoics teach us to remain steadfast and calm in the face of such challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of maintaining our composure and not being swayed by the negative emotions of others. When you encounter resistance, stay firm and remind yourself that your boundaries are necessary for your well-being. In some cases, setting boundaries might necessitate making difficult decisions, such as distancing yourself from certain individuals or even ending relationships that are harmful or toxic. This can be a painful process, but it's essential for preserving your mental and emotional health. The Stoics would remind us that our primary responsibility is to our own well-being and virtue. Seneca often spoke about the importance of choosing our associations wisely, recognizing that the company we keep can significantly impact our character and happiness. By distancing yourself from those who consistently violate your boundaries, you are making a powerful statement about your self-worth and commitment to living a virtuous life. It's also helpful to seek support from others when setting boundaries. This could involve speaking to trusted friends, family members, or a therapist about your experiences and receiving their input and encouragement. Sharing your struggles and successes with boundary setting can provide you with valuable perspective and strengthen your resolve. The Stoics valued community and the support of like-minded individuals. Marcus Aurelius frequently reflected on the interconnectedness of humanity and the importance of mutual support. By leaning on your support network, you can find the strength to uphold your boundaries and maintain your well-being. In addition, practicing self-care is crucial when setting and maintaining boundaries. This includes taking time for yourself, engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation, and nurturing your physical and mental health. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-care as a foundation for a virtuous life. Epictetus, for example, emphasized the need to care for our own well-being so that we can effectively fulfill our responsibilities and be of service to others. By prioritizing self-care, you reinforce the message that your well-being is important and deserving of protection. Remember that setting boundaries is a form of self-love and self-respect. It's about recognizing your own value and refusing to allow others to diminish it. The Stoics teach us that our worth is determined not by external factors, but by our own integrity and actions. By setting and maintaining boundaries, you are living in accordance with these principles and fostering a life of resilience, peace, and virtue. Remember, your peace and integrity are worth protecting, no matter who tries to undermine them. Setting boundaries isn't just a defense mechanism, it's a declaration of your self-worth and commitment to living a virtuous life. Thank you for joining me today and being a part of Stoic Journal. If you found this helpful, make sure to check out one of the suggested videos on the screen for more insights. Stay strong, stay wise, and keep living your truth.